Hey folks, welcome to week 13 of DMD 220 Web Design 1. How is everybody? I hope you are doing well and taking good care of yourself. Okay, so this week we are going to be diving headlong into the actual building of your website prototype for Project 2. Before we do that, just a reminder, you can certainly email me for anything you might need. Participate in my weekly online office hours. I certainly encourage you to do so. Would love to see your faces. Remember, that is a one at a time setup, so there's sort of a virtual waiting room, so I'm not bunching people on screen all at once. And of course, if you want to set up a separate time to meet, be sure to do that too. I am happy to do so at whatever time works well. Okay, so moving on to the syllabus. So week 13, we would normally be meeting April 20th, 22nd, and 24th for week 13. And so today, this week, we are now going to start diving into the building of the site. So your usability testing is all done. That is due this week, which is step 7. If we go back to Canvas and take a look at assignments, and go down to Project 2, Step 7 usability testing. That is due today, April 20th. So turn that all in. I will read through all your usability testing results. Remember to include your wireframes. I need to see your nicely done wireframes, as well as the questions that you asked your usability testers, and of course the results of the usability testing. Get some feedback. Remember, you can do a presentation or just a Word document, whatever works. So that's due today. Then you can start diving into the building of the site. Now, there's some preparatory steps you can do in advance. Number one, hop over to Adobe XD here and set up the actual site based on how you've decided to build it, whether it's a scrolling site or a single page site. Remember the specs on the Project 2 handout, right? Our Project 2 handout here. At the bottom are the specs. It's a 1920 by 1080 pixel website, page by page, or if you're doing a scrolling website, same thing, but each section is vertically 1080. So be sure to review the specs before you set it up in XD, and of course decide whether or not your site is going to be a scrolling site or a multi-page site. Of course, remember the rest of the specs, go back and read through this, and then the next thing you're going to do, of course, if you haven't already started doing so, is working on the artwork for the site. Now it says here, of course, artwork and prototype. The artwork, of course, is entirely up to you, but as we've done in user experience design, as we've done in the past, you are generally best served to open up an Adobe Illustrator file and start putting together the visual elements, something like this, that are going to appear on your site. Both Adobe Illustrator and XD are, of course, vector-based programs, and so whatever you create in Illustrator, you can simply copy and paste and drop into XD, and of course the drawing capabilities are much better in Illustrator. Now this here is a style guide showing a selection of color palettes, fonts that are going to be used on the site, as well as any graphics like buttons, flags, callouts, or whatever that are going to appear on the site. So sort of do some pre-planning into building these in advance in Illustrator, so then when it comes time to actually build the site, you can just simply drag and drop or copy and paste these items from Illustrator over to XD. If you have multi-aspect items, make sure that you are grouping them together. Like these buttons here are made up of text and shapes, so make sure you group them together, because then when you paste them into XD, they will also be grouped together. Okay, so that's the setup part. Once you get your feedback from your usability testers and you've turned it all in, now you know what changes you need to make to your general site design from your paper wireframes. Be sure to incorporate those changes into the design. Now, really, the rest of the semester is the building of the prototype. So we've got week 13, week 14, we're going to be building it. Week 15, we're going to be building it and getting it published for week 16 for feedback. A couple of reminders, if you haven't given feedback to everybody on their published sites for Project 1, go back and do that. That is posted in Canvas. And note that we do have some textbook reading, in this case a video, to help you out with sort of just getting your head into the right space for working on your toy design website for Project 2. This week's video is toy design at Fisher-Price. You can find that video here on YouTube. It's linked directly from the syllabus. It's a really great It's a half-hour video. It's not super long, but it's a really great presentation from Fisher-Price going through sort of the history of their toy design and where they plan to go in the future from a few years back. It's a really useful video getting into the mind of how toy design is done. Next week in week 14, we have another video talking about internships at Hasbro. You guys will be looking for internships soon. Normally I would say over the summer, but given what's going on with the coronavirus, maybe not this summer, but at least by the fall, and then somewhere between junior and senior year, but we can talk about that more. But anyway, Hasbro is a great place to get some internships if you're interested in toy design. And of course, there's many, many other places. But anyway, this is just a sort of, as my aunt used to say, put a bee in your bonnet to start thinking about internships. But that's for next week. Okay, notice that also next week, week 14 and 15, we have some stand-ups. Now, normally we would have done those in person, but these will simply be opportunities for you to upload your site prototype in progress over here in Canvas. Now you can use the deliverable 6 uploads location for putting up any drafts. Just make sure you email me and say, hey, my team put a draft up on Canvas. Can you go take a look at it and give us some feedback? Otherwise, I'm not going to necessarily know that it's there, okay? All right, so again, this week, week 13, now that you've finished your usability testing, start working on your artwork, your font choices, your color palettes, any graphics you're going to need for your site. Obviously, prepare any photographs you're going to need, and then start putting it together in XD so this week you guys can get the ball rolling on the building of the site. Now, at any point you want some feedback, be sure to let me know, okay? We do not have the benefit of me walking around class and looking over your shoulder and saying, hey, what are you guys working on? So you're going to have to come to me and show me your progress. Don't wait till week 16 to turn everything in without getting any feedback from me, okay? That probably wouldn't work out too well. All right, so that's it for this week. It's kind of a short lecture because you guys got a lot of work to do. So get to work, reach out if you need some help, or just reach out to say hi, all right? So take care, and I will talk to you soon.